You know, Rick Hendrick has experienced the highs and lows of motorsports and life. You can join us on Sunday for his Speed Exclusive. First time ever, past and present drivers who captured all of Hendrick's Cup victories gather in one place to share personal and never before told stories about the journey of laughter, tragedy, and triumph. And speaking of tragedy, right there, an issue for the 97 of Jeff Choquette.
We talked about Choquette getting out of the gate strong this year. An 11th place finish and an 8th out of Iowa. And this track's a whole lot like Iowa. It reminds you of it the way it drives, but problems here. Oh, blow the right front tire. Look, I talked in the opening about how hard you'd hit if something went wrong. How'd that feel?
We're talking about probably speeds upwards of 150 miles an hour as you drive off in these corners. But on this little 1 mile racetrack, the radius of the corners is pretty tight. That's why you hit so hard here without a whole lot of banking to catch you.
The tires coming into the pits. They are hoping, they stayed on the racetrack, they are hoping the left sides did not flat spot to cause an issue for Buescher on the track.
And the caution comes out. John King in the 5 hits the wall pretty hard, bringing out our second caution.
That looks like just a case of maybe getting up out of the groove, whether it's contact from another truck or what, but doesn't look like there was a tire issue there. John just maybe slid out the groove and into the wall.
That's a backup truck for John. He got into the wall in practice. They had to get a backup truck out.
He was a lap down, running in the 24th spot when he got into the wall, bringing out our second caution. Brian Scott still leading the Phoenix.
It's going to be a challenge from the outside for Ty.
Can he hold on to that second spot as we see Parker Kligerman trying to close the gap between he and Brian Scott?
Well, we saw in qualifying, he's not scared. He's not afraid to go up there and run hard. It didn't work in qualifying. It looked like he had a pretty good run through 1 and 2, but Brian Scott's just too strong. But that run he made through 1 and 2 enabled those guys to drive away from third place Parker Kligerman, and Dillon was able to get to the bottom. 3 wide off 4.
See Cale Gale on the outside. Looks like Nelson Piquet. Ooh, trouble in the middle of the straightaway.
Jason White involved in this one, as well as I believe that's the 11 of Todd Bodine.
Boy, Todd just a victim of circumstances. The wrong place at the wrong time. And look at the damage to that Toyota.
We saw another look.
Oh no, Jason's just loose.
Just got sideways, caught it, but unfortunately, probably would have been okay if Todd had to come along, but Todd had to go somewhere.
And this year, that's been the story for Todd Bodine. He's been loose, sideways, and just unfortunate, wrong place at the wrong time so many different times. Watch him here.
Todd looked like he had a lane on the inside and did for a while, but Jason was just still trying to regain control. Here's Miguel Paludo is on board. You see Jason dead sideways, and Miguel went all the way down to the bottom, got by before he came down there.
He's outside the 3 of Ty Dillon. Green flag back in the air.
Look at Brian Scott, really aggressive against Ty Dillon down into turn 1, pulling up to try to get him to lift off the gas, but Dillon's having none of it.
Kligerman's in the wall.
Parker Kligerman in the wall just as Ty Dillon took the lead away from Brian Scott. Huge damage to the 7 for Kligerman.
We're hearing there may have been some contact from behind. I believe the 88 of Matt Crafton was behind Parker.
And you see the damage to the left front of that truck.
Well, that was after the fact. Was sideways.
And hit the wall as well. We take another look.
Yeah, it just Kligerman just gets loose down on the inside of Ryan Blaney, and Matt Crafton had nowhere to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
There was no contact at all from behind. It's just, that's how tough it is to drive one of these babies. Watch him just get loose trying to stay down on the bottom of Blaney. Can't hold it down. They make contact, and look at poor Matt Crafton. Just like Todd Bodine a minute ago, he had nowhere to go.
Absolutely nowhere to go. It got squeezed up into the wall.
Great job by Nelson Piquet Jr. barely slipping by Kligerman on the bottom.
I mean, another view. Watch that 7 truck. He's going to get loose. He has to chase it up the hill. He tries to stay off the 29 of Blaney, but then the thing finally grabs, and the right front shoots to the right, and then Matt Crafton's there with nowhere to go.
Riding along with 31 of Buescher.
And watch Piquet, too. Look at the job Piquet does. Turn left hard, and that's not easy to do, change directions like Piquet did without spinning out. Watch the bottom of your screen as Piquet comes into sight. Barely slipping
just
by.
Barely. May even have made slight contact with the left side of Kligerman's.
And another guy that had a real close call on this was Cale Gale. Watch Cale as this develops.
Well, we ran the first 30-some laps caution-free, and then bam, all of a sudden, caution, caution, caution.
Cautions breed cautions a lot of times. You bunch these babies up, especially in these short races. 150 laps, you run 40 or 50 of them off in a hurry, you become very, very serious about gaining ground, and you can gain the most on restarts, and sometimes you have a crash.
Parker Kligerman involved in this one. Hard into the wall, that truck being pushed behind the wall. 86 laps when they come to the stripe. Green flag back in the air. Ty Dillon, your race leader, on the inside. On the outside, that 18 of Brian Scott.
Boy, Ty drove it hard down in the corner. Didn't let Brian Scott stay on his outside.
Yeah, we saw Ty Dillon make that outside work, and Brian Scott wasn't able to do so.
Brian Scott has led 45 laps.
Oh, sideways.
And into the wall goes the 13 of Johnny Sauter. Also with damage, the 9 of Ron Hornaday.
Great job by Ryan Truex snaking his way through there. It looked like maybe Nelson Piquet got loose on the inside of Johnny Sauter. You can see on the inside of Johnny Sauter, Nelson Piquet was there. I don't know that Nelson went up as much as maybe.
Spark potentially too on the right side? It looked like right when he was checking up, there was a spark on the right side, and up the track he went.
Looked like maybe more Johnny Sauter.
Yeah, Johnny didn't give him a whole lot of room. You see Nelson with his left side right down against the yellow line.
Yeah, I don't know that I could hang that on Nelson Piquet. He was down inside of Sauter, and like you said, Phil, he was right down on the line. Maybe we get a better look.
There's Miguel Paludo coming by, running into the 9 of Hornaday. Miguel was nowhere to go when he got there. We know how difficult these trucks are to drive when somebody is squeezing you from the high side.
That was with Johnny Sauter.
This is Miguel Paludo. Remember, he's going to make contact with Ron Hornaday.
Wow, a lot going on there for Paludo, isn't there?
Yeah. He got slowed down and tried to turn left as much as he could.
I like this shot here. You could see there wasn't a whole lot Piquet could do, I don't believe.
I'm not sure Johnny gave him enough room. Piquet, I think, would have had to have driven off the racetrack to give Johnny enough room there.
And you know, usually your spotter is all over telling you got one look, and you're going to leave him room, because you know if you don't, people are assuming you're going to get left room.
Ty Dillon, Brian Scott, green flag back in the air.
Dillon has been spot on these restarts, hasn't he? When he's on the outside of Brian Scott, he drove ahead of him. When he's on the inside of him, he drives ahead of him. So great job by that young man when they throw the green flag of gaining the advantage.
Looks like a great restart for Ryan Blaney, and now Cale Gale is coming back on the inside, trying to take that spot away. Those two racing for third.
Got to be careful. They're running side by side. We saw what happened just a few moments ago. And there we have it again.
One more time, Cale Gale goes around, this time right in front of the field. And the caution will come out for the 6th time.
Changes on pit road. Let's take a look at it. You see them running side by side. We saw what happened to cause our last caution.
There it is, contact with the right front. He just got into the left rear.
How about the job by Brendan Gaughan and Herman Cataroga to get by him?
Look at James Busher. This isn't what you want to see when you're leading a championship. The guy you're following sideways.
How about very similar situation? It did look like Ryan gave Cale a whole bunch of room down on the bottom of the racetrack.
How about we get on board with our point leader, guys? See what he sees.
He's got his own battle fighting Brendan Gaughan. Then he sees the 33 dead sideways.
Did you hear him gas it up when he saw the chance? Let me get out of here.
Saw an opening, took advantage of it.
Let's watch Brendan Gaughan. Where's Brendan going to go? He's right in the path of destruction here.
He finds the brakes quickly.
You could see Joey Coulter to the bottom. Brendan having to wait through that smoke. Did Quiroga make some contact with the left front?
He was very close, if not.
Right rear bumper cover has come loose on his truck, and he said that's why the rear end is losing grip. He said I could really feel it, and oh, he's going to be in the middle of this one. Mike Harmon goes around.
Whoa. Ryan Blaney got a little bit of a piece of that. Ty Dillon did an incredible job to avoid it on the outside. He came on him so quickly.
You could see Larson went high, Truex went low, made just a tiny bit of contact
Watch Ty Dillon.
Look at Ryan Blaney. Made a bit of contact as well, but man, he locked it up, didn't he?
He sure did. Watch this now. You see, here's going to be the contact. Look at Ty Dillon. He's right there with the 74 turning sideways in front of him. He has to turn the wheel to the right, but yet avoids the outside wall.
You know, very rarely does locking it up help you miss a crash, but I don't think Ryan Blaney had any other choice. He got hard on the brakes. There was some contact to the left front, but I believe they put a little tape on that and 4 tires, and he'll still be really competitive. But he definitely slid those tires far enough where they will be flat spotted, and he'll have to fix those and while he's in the pit.
K&N East Championship going for a truck win.
What about that kid? He knew he needed to be low when he got into turn 3. Heck, he was all the way off the racetrack. Oh!
Around goes Brendan Gaughan. Herman Quiroga got into the back of it. Ty Dillon also involved in this.
We're up here behind those.
Herman Quiroga just ran too deep into turn 1.
Take it easy here in case it's rubbing too hard. Don't blow that tire.
But I'm not sure they are. That looks like the right front tire is not askew.
I think Brendan's upset with Herman
Brendan's
Quiroga.
going to get out of the truck and voice his displeasure.
I'm not sure Herman's going to understand what he's saying.
Limited amount of opportunities for Brendan Gaughan. Herman Quiroga in the 51 has to sit and listen.
Phil just gave a shout out to Herman for having that thing up in the top 10. A lot of sheet metal damage to the right side of that 3 truck Hermie, but
Once you get to the infield care center, here's what happened.
you can see Quiroga just drives way far down into turn 1 and runs over the back of Brendan Gaughan, and then Ty Dillon just nowhere to go, but pretty hard damage on the right front corner. If it isn't bent, if the toe's not out of whack or some of the suspension bent on that right front, he'll be really fortunate.
Yeah, nothing Brendan can do. Herman Quiroga actually locked the brakes up, got in so hard in the corner, and when he locked the brakes up, then his truck went straight, would not make the corner.
Herman was running in uncharted waters for him. He hadn't been up that far in one of these races very often, and he just messed up and hit Brendan hard.
James Busher dodges yet another bullet and takes one of his point contenders and has trouble.
And it didn't take long for Brendan Gaughan to get to Herman Quiroga and let him voice his displeasure.
Really nowhere for Herman to go, truthfully.
I'm sure Armand's saying I'm pretty sure I messed up, and this man that is yelling at me confirms that.
So Brendan and Herman both will have to. How impressed he is with this young man. 20-year-old Kyle Larson out in front.
Oh, caution on the racetrack.
And Busher has issues. Your point leader into the wall. And Mike Hillman Jr. again, I talked about you just never know what's going to happen. Well, a caution comes out with 3 to go.
Yeah, doubly for him. Obviously, that's a teammate at Turner Motorsports, and now they're going to have to withstand another restart.